And now let me tell you who we have with us online, who is our very special guest this evening. His name is Dushyant Savadia. You may have seen this name. You may have seen this face. You may have seen pictures of him climbing Mount Everest, quite literally, over the Christmas holidays. He is an entrepreneur who, I want to say a Jamaican entrepreneur. He is. He's a naturalized Jamaican citizen, originally from India, but he's going to tell us more about his story tonight here on Taking Stock. Welcome, Dushyant.
Very good evening, Khalila, and good to be back. And thank you for inviting. It's an honor to have.
Love having you. I can't believe it's the first time you've been on the show,
Us.
given all that you've done in business in this country and for this country so far.
Yeah.
Tell us, tell us a little bit about how you got started in business. And first of all, what brought you to Jamaica?
Good question. I came to Jamaica in 2012. I came under the Art of Living Foundation, which is one of the world's largest non-profit organization. I taught a lot of stress management workshops across inner cities for youths, and I did thousands of inmates. I taught a lot of stress management rehabilitation workshops in the prisons. And early 2015, Kalila, I ran out of funding for the Art of Living Foundation's need to continue the charitable work that I was very busy here with. And that's when I decided, charity cannot happen from an empty bowl. To do good in the society, you need wealth. And that's when I decided to build businesses with the sole purpose to do good for the society.
So you came to Jamaica around similar times, and your entrepreneurship bug bit after you ran out of funding for your charitable work. What was the first business that you started?
Early 2015 was funny. I was sharing it with someone this morning. You won't believe this. Even before I started my first business, I actually registered Amber Taxi as a trademark uh, in Jamaica. So it's been something on my radar for a long time. We'll talk about it later. But the first business we started late 2015 is when Amber Group, or Amber Connect, was the first company in vehicle tracking and fleet management solutions. We built one of the world's most powerful AI software to manage individual vehicles or fleets both. That is what gave us a roaring success all over the world, operating in tens and hundreds countries all over the world. And and since then, one after another, we just kept looking at what else adds to our ecosystem and built more businesses on top.
So did you have a background in tech?
No, I actually don't have a software development background, but certainly in my past life, I've worked for Xerox, I've worked for Best Buy Europe. So I've been in the tech space in my early days before I became a full-time volunteer for the Art of Living Foundation, and during that time too. And then eventually, of course, what I always had a passion for is to find pain points for consumers, identify the right tech solutions, and turn that into a pleasant experience.
Because I think one of the things that we know Amber is named for is you guys develop a lot of apps, like all the big apps you see powered by Amber on there. Tell us some of the ones that you worked on.
We've been working on so many apps from around the world, whether it is in the banking space, fintech space, whether it is utility companies or security companies, transportation. We've built more than 400, 500 enterprise applications in the last 7 years across the whole world. I'm just passionate about solving problems through tech.
So you don't want to name drop for us?
Oh, I mean, most of you know that. For example, JPS is now considered one of the most amazing apps in Jamaica. Palace Amusement, Trans Jamaica Highway, Amber Connect's own apps, Amber Pay. There's so many beautiful applications that you can interact with, and they work extremely well.
And then was it last year or the year before that you gained a stake in Nationwide News Network?
Yes, it was last year, early last year. That's correct.
What led to that partnership?
It's always about, from Amber Group's perspective, wherever we found deficit or lack of innovation or lack of possible opportunities that one could have done in the tech space with those specific business lines. We ventured into those business. We always look at what businesses can we digitalize even more create a lot better consumer experience, create more engagement for the consumers. And we're known to build phenomenal tech, and we just leverage what our strengths are to give the consumers of Jamaica a lot better experience than what they're used to.
Is it 20%?
I can't disclose the
Oh,
shareholding, also because remember, a lot of it is bound by confidentiality agreements that we've signed on both sides. So
okay, no problem. Understood. But I want to set the stage though, because we know you for doing all these amazing things here in Jamaica. But let's just make it clear, Amber is a global company. So tell me about your operations outside Jamaica. How big are you actually?
So that is correct. We have our own office building in Jamaica. We've got our own offices in Jamaica, which is our global headquarters. It is a Jamaican born, Jamaican operated company. We currently have offices in Miami. We've got a very large office in South Africa, very large office in Dubai, very large office in India. We operate 13 business lines, employing hundreds of people all over the world. And more importantly, we are almost at in 100 countries that we currently operate.
Wow. How did you scale so fast? Because that's less than 10 years in business to becoming a global conglomerate.
Yes, I think, Khalila, I've always believed that when your heart is in the right place and you're very passionate about doing good for the world, you're passionate about just getting out there and do what is best in the interest of the larger society. Universe assists you to get to your goals faster. And I think what we've done over the last 10 years is just kept looking at incredible tech solutions. If you look at Amber Connect by itself, it is by far the most incredibly designed vehicle tracking application for consumers and fleets both. The number of features we innovated, the number of users that we have now globally, it's all about building the right tech, fitting into the right markets. And most of the countries, for example, when I went to South Africa the first time in 2016, everybody said to me, Khalila, this is a bad idea, because South Africa is already a very saturated market for vehicle tracking. You're too late in that game there. But I knew what my difference was. Then the rest of the players in that market is we differentiated ourselves with affordability, phenomenal tech, and keeping consumers on the forefront, then keeping our profit on the forefront. That is what pushed us very far across the world. And I think every time a customer or a distributor looks at our application and look at our product and the pricing, they say, this is it, this is what we want. And that's how we created a large distribution network for our businesses all over the world.
Wow, it really is an amazing story, truly so. At what point did you decide you wanted to become a Jamaican citizen?
I always wanted to be a Jamaican citizen, but of course, I came to Jamaica in 2012. I made this home, and I am very grateful to Jamaica. When I came to Jamaica in 2012, I just divorced. I was not in a very good mental, emotional state personally. And what I found is the love that I got from Jamaica, the warmth of Jamaican people, how they embraced me, made me one of their own, and I could serve Jamaica so much. I naturally, over time, am indebted to Jamaica in many ways to heal me, and I'm committed to Jamaica and what I can do for this country as long as I'm breathing.
Mikhail is reminding me that you're also an ambassador now. What's the official title?
It is Ambassador Dushyant Savadia, but I'm the ambassador for investments for technology.
Investments for technology. Well, so all of that brings me to what you launched earlier this year. I think it was in January, or what was it, late last year? The collaboration with UTech. Tell us about that on the entrepreneurship front.
I have gone through, seriously, I've gone through very rough patches as an entrepreneur. When I first started Amber Connect, nobody would trust you because you are actually a nobody. I didn't know many people here. So to build trust from the consumer, build trust from businesses is a very hard job. Second, to find funding, to find people who would trust you with some money is another. So I've gone through the roughest entrepreneurial journey. I would come to a point that I still remember January 2015, January 2nd, 2015, I had no food in my fridge. I survived on boiled potato and boiled rice. I'm a vegetarian. Boiled potato and boiled rice with salt for 1 month till I found funding and started the whole idea and then
You
built the
said
whole
boiled potato and boiled rice is all you ate for 1 month.
1 month and just hoped that I could build something amazing that I could feed myself better and carry on this journey as an entrepreneur. So as an entrepreneur, there is nothing I've not gone through in terms of cycles of effort and cycles of disappointments and failures. And I've been through the worst that you can think of as an entrepreneur. But then I
So you
realized
did not come here with any gold spoon in your mouth. You did not come with riches and wealth from India.
zero. I came as a humanitarian. I served the society for 3.5 years, doing my best to uplift consciousnesses in Jamaica by teaching them breathing exercises, meditation, and really giving them the art of living, how to deal with their negative emotions, conflict resolution, reduce anger and violence, and all of those things. And I ran out of funding, and that's when I decided to build businesses. But to go back to your question, Kalila, I've gone through the journey as an entrepreneur. I know how hard it is, and that's why we decided to fund entirely the Amber UTech Launchpad. We're very grateful to UTech to collaborate with us because they're providing us with the office spaces and the training for our entrepreneurs, business training, and we. In the meantime, would fund all the software development. The digital products that have to be built will be fully funded by us, and we will then leverage our global market to assist them to sell all over the world. So the passion and inspiration was, how do we take all our experiences as a company and make sure I could reduce that burden to many entrepreneurs who've got brilliant ideas, but they just don't have the right funding. And they don't have the right leverage to go out into the market and make an impact for Jamaica. So, to me, to commit to 100 startups in the next 1,000 days is quite a commitment, but we are committed. We actually filmed the first 26 pitches last month. And season one, we're doing it like Shark Tank. So there is a whole televised show that we've built. We will start telecasting it early September. The first 26 pitches, we will onboard 15 of them as the first season and then continue to season 2 and so on.
Okay, I was just going to ask because you did set out an ambitious target of helping 100 entrepreneurs. You got 26?
No, we got lots of application, but we could only take in 26 in the first instance, in the first season. So to speak, from the 26, we picked up 15 who will go through the first season. Remember, it's over 3 years, 100 startups. So we're starting with 15 in every season. Season 1 is being released September 1st or September 1st week. And then people across Jamaica will have the ability to vote, listening to the pitches themselves, which entrepreneur they prefer the most. And we're going to do a full community engagement across Jamaica to select you as a viewer, you as a Jamaican, which digital startup you want to favor that could take the leap with Amber UTech Launchpad.
Are they all digital startups?
100% digital startups. Because see, one of the reasons, if you look at Jamaica, we barely have any export of digital products out of Jamaica. We barely have anything except Amber Connect. Of course, we became one of the largest exporter of tech out from the Caribbean into the world, but we don't have many tech startups who are exporting anything much out of Jamaica. So that's why I wanted to give the Jamaican digital entrepreneurs a chance to scale globally, chance to showcase their bright minds and build 100 digital startups to bring in USDs from abroad.
And then you're funding all 26?
Will fund all 100 over the next 3 years. Their entire cost to build out their product is sponsored by the Amber Group.
But it's an equity arrangement. So you have equity in the companies.
That is correct. Yeah. And we would still remain a minority shareholder regardless, because one of the things I've also come to understand as an entrepreneur, if you lose more than majority of your shares, then obviously the skin in the game, the passion, everything goes down a little bit. So we wanted to protect the entrepreneur's zeal, enthusiasm. It's your business. I'm just there to support.
I'm very excited to see this program when it airs. It's going to be on nationwide platforms.
We don't know yet. The marketing team is working on it, but we will distribute from every possible channel. We would request your channel to also broadcast it when the footage is live.
Well, let's talk for real because I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. All right, so we have some comments online before I come into the newest deal, which is on time, taking you full circle to your original goal, having a taxi service. Who am I wants to know, is NNN going public anytime soon?
I'm not the majority shareholder, so I cannot answer that question. Cliff is the right person for that.
All right, we ask Cliff another time. NanoSense wants to know if you're into cybersecurity.
Absolutely. 3 years ago, we acquired a company out of US called Night Vision, and we converted that company and renamed that company back to Amber CyberEye. So we give top tier cybersecurity services to a lot of companies all over the world with full SOC monitoring, penetration test, but more importantly, affordable at the same time.
Who am I wants to know, what about Jamaica makes it such a springboard to make you scale so much? This brings Digicel to mind.
Absolutely. I think we all know there is something about Jamaica, right? There's nothing that you can start from here and not take it further. Remember, to me personally, Jamaica is a very strong brand by itself. As a nation, we've built such a phenomenal brand. What's very interesting, even when we are on large tech shows, when I'm speaking in very large tech shows all over the world as an invited guest, I always mention at the start, I am from Jamaica. I am a Jamaican citizen, and I think 90% of the people fall in love with the first two sentence. My business comes later. So I think as a country, we've built a phenomenal goodwill of a brand. It's a huge hit across the world. And what surprises most people, that Jamaica also has the capability now to launch huge digital or non-digital companies out of here and go global. We are not, like we say in Jamaica, we're small, but we are still Talewa or
Talawa. Little but with Talawa.
little, but Talewa. That's the whole point. We have the ability. I think our people are creative. We have abundance of talent. We just need to give them the right springboard, like Amber got out of here and scale them globally.
We have a couple of people just bigging up Amber and several of your products. Nana Sen says, I'm a customer of Amber Tracking and I love it. The tracking gave me an update on the amount of fuel my car uses, distance. I could be anywhere in the world and turn my car off. So there's a testimonial, live testimonial. And then Mikhail bigging up the Amber Heart Academy for coding with the government. I know that's one of your babies as well. And he mentions that all the graduates from Amber Heart Academy graduates into a job that's game changing. So you still do a lot of philanthropic work.
Yes, I mean, look, Amber's passion is I mean, to me, I'm a humanitarian first and an accidental CEO later. But to me, Amber Art Academy was a very important milestone for Jamaica. Imagine now, by October, we're graduating another 300 graduates. In October, we are actually starting another batch of 500. But to bring that whole knowledge of coding and getting individuals ready for jobs in 1 year is quite game changing by itself. It's a huge investment from Amber Group again, but we're born to do good, and we keep focused on our core mission to help Jamaica.
Lanesra wants to hear more about your upbringing. They say it sounds inspiring.
No. You don't want to go there. Khalila, when I was 14, I started drinking a lot. I was an alcoholic at the age of 14 till the age of 22. I used to be a chain smoker, drug addict, very short tempered, angry young boy. I was kicked out of my house when I was 20. One night I came home fully drunk, vomited, and my father had enough of me, got me out of the house. I took a train and came to Delhi, and I started my career as a waiter in a restaurant. And then I drove trucks, and then I worked for a call center, and then I worked for Xerox, and then eventually in 1999 I joined the Art of Living Foundation and learned about myself, and the passion for humanity arose. The service attitude in life came from there, and I decided to give up my very lucrative jobs and become a volunteer for Art of Living for almost 20 years. I taught thousands and thousands of people across the world, from corporates to inner cities to prisons and made a difference in many lives in the world. And then early 2015, Amber happened.
Wow, that's amazing. I mean, we should talk some more. We were supposed to, and somehow it got sidetracked, but we should talk some more. I think the people need to know more of these types of stories because it's truly an inspiration. Shawneel wants to know, are you looking to collaborate with small businesses not in the startup phase to help build their digital products internally? Investment, if you will. I
I
can tell you, Shawneel runs a talent agency.
No, I would absolutely love to. We always are, as a business, we're always looking at opportunities. Where can we contribute? How else can I help? How else can be useful to the society? Whatever we can do, we're certainly very forthcoming as a business to assist anybody who wants anything from us.
Okay, well, Sean Neal, after the show, link up and we'll see how we can make it work. So let's come now, finally, to On Time Taxi, which is supposed to be the focus of this interview, but there's just so many things to talk about being your first time on the program. What led to Amber getting 50% in On Time Taxi, and what are the plans for that company?
Kalila, I've been observing the news for a long time. We know what happened to the rideshare companies and the bans and all of those things. I think, to me, I'm very passionate about Jamaica. Like I said, to me, when I looked at the PPV market in Jamaica, we've got 30, 40,000 PPV vehicles in Jamaica, some en route, some as Hackney and so on. But what is very interesting is somehow our PPV industry never could bring that convenience, although they're far more secured in a sense, they're more vetted, their license, etc., etc. But there was a lot to be done for them also in terms of improving the security for those vehicles, drivers, and passengers. At the same time, why the rideshare hailing apps across the world became successful is because of convenience. Now, to me, it was a very simple decision that how about we have a economy which is very small by its own nature, and then in this small economy there is very little room for too many players at the same time. But now if our local players do not have the level playing field with competition, then they remain disadvantaged also. That was my motivation behind how do we enable phenomenal amount of convenience, tech, security. For example, now we're putting a tracking in every single vehicle with dash cams. We have AI route dispatch management systems now, so we know which vehicle is going where and who picked up where, and we've got such high visibility on the vehicles. And more importantly, we're also putting a panic button on the back seats. So if as a
Mhm.
passenger you feel threatened at some point, you hit the panic button, and our armed security response vehicle will apprehend that vehicle, inspect what's going on, and so on. So there's a lot of security, a lot of convenience that we want to bring to the PPV industry first, enable them for a fair fight with the global competition.
With the global competition. I'm glad you went that because Mikhail says Amber is such a catchy name for a ride hailing service. Could be the new Uber and Lyft, think worldwide. Is that where you're thinking?
Of course, see, once we've built all this tech and invested into all of this tech, then naturally the next thing would be that we actually start replicating this tech in as many countries as possible. Remember, Uber and Lyft and all of these companies have done phenomenally well. They've contributed all across the world so much to create a new economy in so many countries. So, first of all, my immense gratitude, my immense thank you to all these ride sharing companies across the world to do what they've done for the micro economy to flourish in many countries. But yes, the more there is competition, we also know it drives more customer satisfaction, it drives more price benefit to consumers, and it drives more better consumer experience. So I for that matter would say, the ocean is big, there is room for everybody. Bring it on and improve what we need to improve for our citizens. That should be the priority of every single company.
So Jamaica is basically your beta test.
Jamaica has always been my beta test. The first Amber Connect, the first $1 million check from a company who bought 100 devices was out of Jamaica. So obviously, Jamaica is a patient country in many, many ways. We've always had consumers calling me, Dushyant, you can improve this, you can improve that. And I've always listened. As a company, we've never gone into an arrogance, we know it all and we are the almighty. That's not what success should do to one. Success should make you humble, should make you more open to listen, because it's the consumers who should drive your product.
Mhm.
We as a company, as a group, if you look at our customer service also, middle of the night, if I get a call, I will wake up and do what is required for that one small client of a single vehicle also. But as a company, we're just very passionate to ensure that we provide the best. Of course, you sometimes try very hard, you can't do everything, but obviously the intention is always to do more.
So Nano Sense says, Mr. CEO, we need a piece of your business. Any plans on listing on the JSE or any international stock market for that matter?
No, we will certainly list. I assure you, we will list. But we also have to wait for the right timing. Some of our businesses are not matured yet. They're gaining heavy traction. If we prematurely list it, then we will not be able to create good value for the persons who would invest. And certainly, I take full responsibility as a CEO for our investors. I don't have any at the moment, thankfully. Our group has no external investors at this point of time. But I think in the long term, yes, we will list. Yes, we will want to make people a part of our business. Every common person should be able to buy shares and help us grow globally.
Would you list in Jamaica or a global stock exchange?
We probably will do both because the global stock exchange would allow us to gain a lot more traction globally. Becoming part of NASDAQ, etc., gives you a big global push. At the same time, I want to carve out enough for our Jamaicans also to invest into this Jamaican company born only for a sole purpose to do more for the society.
Wow, love it. Thank you so much, Dushyant. I see a lot of people saying things like Garvin here. Wow, what an inspiration. Really enjoyed this conversation. And Ezra says you're motivating. They're motivating. So yeah, great conversation. Thank you so much for joining us, Dushyant. And I'm looking forward to Amber UTech Launchpad, which should be airing in September.
Thank you
Can't
so
wait to see it.
much. It's an honor to be on your show. I've listened to all your shows. By the way, thank you for the amazing work that you're doing for the business sector in Jamaica. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. All right, Dushyant Savadia. You can't say that you haven't heard the name. I'm sure you've seen Amber all over the place, and you're about to see them uh, globally. He's looking at global domination, guys, and eventually you may get a chance to own a piece of Amber via listing on both Jamaican and international stock exchanges, which is exciting news.